So welcome back to Street Switch Photography. This is quite an important one, as you can tell by the title, Erewash Borough Council Derby. It's basically a meeting about a local hotel, a Best Western, I believe. Fox Audits is live on this now, down at the Erewash Borough Council. They tried to enter the building for the live meeting, but they weren't allowed in. They let one person in with a camera. Now, they were saying there wasn't enough seating. It looks to me like, from this live feed from Erewash Borough Council, there is plenty of seating, but let's do this.
Street Switch Photography.
So yes, this is quite an important meeting. It's about asylum seekers staying in a Best Western hotel in Erewash. Erewash Borough Council are holding a live meeting on it now, and Erewash Borough Council seen fit to not let any YouTube auditors in to show what exactly is happening. Now, this happens more than you think. This happens at councils all around the country. They won't let people in with cameras and stuff like that because they don't really want, they can't control the outcome and they can't push their agenda. But let's take a look and see what Erewash Borough Council are actually saying and see what the outcome of this actually is. Now, if you want to watch the live feed, pop over to Fox Audits. They're from Leicester. It's only got 6 people watching at the minute. I'm watching his live feed as I'm doing my live feed to help the guy out a little bit. There's lots of people outside with flags. Go down and say hello and see what happens. Let's have a look what's happening at this meeting. Now, for some reason, I can't hear that. It's because they haven't turned the microphones on yet. So yeah, pop over to Fox Audits and go and take a look at their page. They're live outside of Erewash Borough Council. I'm going to fast forward it a little bit if I can. Now, for some reason, the sound is turned off, which is rather odd. Very odd, in fact. Is there something they don't want you to hear? Here we go. The sound came on for a very short period of time there.
To see a full gallery. I'd like to remind you, though, President, that if you, to the best of your ability, can you be quiet, please, so that members on the floor here can debate this issue properly.
Here we go.
As I've talked about already, the meeting is being live streamed, so can you make sure when you are speaking...
Oh, it's being live streamed, okay, my friend, don't you worry.
Your voice is recorded, so members online can properly hear you. I'd like to now move on to the agenda. Agenda item 1, apologies for absences. Councillor Snaith.
Yes, I have apologies from Councillor Finelli.
Councillor McGuinness.
I've got apologies from Councillor Valclair, Councillor Tim Scott, Chris Corbett, Beth and Eddie.
So these are people who haven't bothered to go to the meeting for one reason or another. They basically declare that they're not going to be showing up to the meeting. I don't know whether they can be replaced with anybody, but please go and visit Fox Audits or get on the live stream of Fox Audits and go and take a look what's happening outside. Maybe you can watch both streams, this one and Fox Audits, at the same time. So you can see inside the council and outside. That'll be different, won't it? Get yourself 2 phones if you can afford them.
Lorna McGuinness, Kate Lathwell, Steve Bilby and...
I thought you said Paddy McGuinness.
Fabulous, thank you, councillors. We'll move on to agenda item 2 if there's no other declarations. Declarations of interest. Is there any at all?
Someone's had a kebab.
Fabulous, thank you. Move on to agenda item 3, notice of motions. I've received a motion from Councillor Paul McGuinness and seconded by Councillor Major. I'd like to remind councillors that speeches should be limited to the discussion of the motion. We've got a timer as well, and please limit your discussion, your personal contribution to 5 minutes.
Yeah, they give 5 minutes, so usually they give like 3 minutes or something like that, 3 minutes 30 seconds or whatever to actually say what they want to say.
Councillor McGuinness.
Mr. McGuinness.
I just want to say thank you to yourself, Your Worship, for agreeing to the extraordinary meeting tonight. So this motion calls on Erewash Borough Council to seek an injunction to permanently close all asylum hotel use in Erewash using the 1990 Town and Planning Act. We have recently seen this act successfully used by Epping Council to close the Bell Hotel on an interim basis. The Council successfully argued that the hotel was given planning permission to provide open access and short-term accommodation for visitors, not closed access and long-term stays with no end date. The Home Office then took this to a Court of Appeal.
So those of you that don't know, the Epping Hotel, the Bell Hotel in Epping, was full of migrants, and one of the migrants decided that it would be a good idea to go and do something unspeakable to a child, and was arrested for it and now jailed. The Epping local residents started protesting there. There's been a lot of trouble. The local council applied to the courts to shut it down to get all the migrants out, considering they are in there illegally through planning permission. They don't have the right paperwork in place, and then the High Court decided to go against it because the government decided to go against the original decision. This is what's happening here, and yeah, let's watch.
And the injunction was overturned on the 29th of August. As we still have 141 asylum seekers in the Best Western in Long Eaton, we are calling on the Council to adopt a similar approach. With over 50,000 people crossing the Channel on small boats since July 2024, probably more than that now, we need to protect erewash from further asylum hotels being opened. So why are we putting forward this motion now? And it's a very fair question. So when we were in charge of the council, we were always told that we could not do anything about the use of hotels for asylum seekers, as it was through the Home Office.
So in this particular Best Western Hotel, there are 141 asylum seekers. I'm sort of thinking that's quite a lot.
Epping Council proved to us that councils can influence this, and there is a way for us to be heard. This motion was not seeking to be party political, the first one I put forward, as there's been failure from successive governments. So I'll say that again, successive governments.
So are this borough council actually seeking a court injunction to actually get these migrants out? Let's find out.
Issue, but the government's actions to overturn the injunction is contemptible. Clearly, the government will go to any lengths to keep these asylum hotels open. Residents were never consulted on any of this and are understandably angry that those who have entered our country illegally have given a 3-star hotel stay and free meal.
So what I'd like to just say before I carry on and continue this meeting is they entered the country illegally, they stay in a hotel illegally, and then some of them actually go to work illegally. Everything they do is illegal, therefore they should be deported legally by leaving the ECHR, but the government won't do that. They say they can't do that, yet Germany have just done it, so they're full of shit.
Today, access to a GP when many are struggling, and a weekly allowance. So what is this motion calling for? We are, number one, calling for the Chief Executive, in consultation with the Council's legal team, to urgently assess the merits of seeking an injunction to prevent the use of local hotels for migrant accommodation where it is deemed to be in the best interest of the community. And number two, condemn the government for showing utter disdain for local democracy and ignoring the views of residents. We're calling for motions up and down the country to denounce this government's behaviour and treatment of local communities. It is time to listen to the views of the residents of erewash.
Thank you, Councillor McGuinness. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Major.
Thank you, Your Worship. In seconding the motion, I would like to say this motion is not about that we believe immigration is bad. Immigration isn't bad.
No, but illegal immigration is.
What is bad is when we can't control immigration. And
so illegal immigration.
What this motion has set out by Council.
Why won't they call it illegal immigration? Why won't they call it what it is? It's illegal. Illegal immigration. The clue is actually in the word illegal.
It aims to do is stop the use of a facility that wasn't ever built or designed for the purpose it's now being used for, nor been given planning for that purpose. Immigration isn't bad, and my wife's an immigrant.
It is in some ways, because it's taking jobs off British white people. There's people living on the streets that shouldn't be living on the streets, yet migrants are getting 4-star hotels. So it is sort of bad, isn't it? If you think about it. It's putting prices up and everything else. There's too many, we haven't got enough doctors, we haven't got enough dental surgeries, we haven't got enough school placements. You know, they come first because the government are white, are racist against white people. They want us to hate our flag, hence we've got raise the colours. There's, you know, obviously a problem, and they just don't want to see it like that, do they?
My 3 children are half English, and we've got second and third generation and first generation immigrants in the Chamber State, who I'm immensely proud of.
So get over to Fox Audits if you can, and still stay on this feed as well and watch both of them, what's happening outside and inside these council chambers.
Fabulous work in the communities. And unfortunately, because of the political leadership of the country, we've failed to control immigration and the ability of who can come in and who can leave the country. And that's meant that people who've come, who've abided by the rules, contributed, assimilated, given something to this country, done jobs that other people don't want to do, paid their taxes, paid their way, and now feel under attack. And it's really sad, because we should be a welcoming country. And the only way we can get back to those points, and that point where we are a welcoming country and we recognise that we do need immigration, is if we can control our borders. And we can't do much about that locally, I'm afraid. However, this is one mechanism that we can use. We can use it to send a strong message to government that local authorities aren't going to be walked over, and they do have to abide by planning rules, and they can't just impose changes on facilities that aren't designed for those purposes, and instead they need to set out ways of controlling our borders. As the Conservatives, we had a plan, we had the Rwanda plan, which was starting to work. Just
so people know, I'm live now on my own live chat, so I can see what people are saying. Thank you to North West Outlaws. Shout out to North West Outlaws. Pop over to Fox Audits to see outside what's going on.
I know
successive governments. We are local councillors, and our duty is to focus on what we can do with the powers that are available to us. And there is, I believe, a broad cross-party agreement that the use of hotels in this way is unsustainable and must end. However, I would prefer that we all work together on that.
So has the sound gone off again?
But this seems like you are doing what we requested, just taking out the party political bits.
Thank you, Councillor McGuinness. Councillor Major.
I would like to welcome the amendment to the motion. I think it is a constructive, very constructive amendment. Thank you very much to the Leader and the Deputy Leader of the Council.
So this is quite important. This was said after the Epping Hotel had the court order placed in there that all the councils across the country would be doing the same thing to stop migrants moving into particular hotels or particular accommodation that's going to affect local residents. Now, with small towns like Melton Mowbray and Irving in Derby, these are like small towns that are just outside of Derby. You've got borough, erewash, you've got all sorts of places that have, say, 100 migrants just dumped on them from absolutely nowhere. Nobody knows who these people are, whether they've got criminal records or anything. Has a big effect on such a small area and the local population of that area. And I don't think these lefties don't seem to understand that. They don't seem to get it for some reason. They obviously haven't got kids. They haven't got obviously the brains aren't set up the same as normal thinking people. I don't know, but
I think it is something that we do accept as a group, and I don't know if Councillor McGuinness can just accept it as a substantive motion and we can get on to any debate that we need to have prior to a vote on it. But it's, in its structure, it's good. We're doing something. We're showing that we are going to try and get this hotel closed as soon as possible, and it will.
Now, Erewash Council only let one person in with a camera. I'd like to know who that person was. They wouldn't let the rest of the people in that are outside, so the YouTube auditors and things like that in, which I think is a little bit of a disgrace. There are spare seats, you can see there are. They could have let them people in, and they could have let them record it, and they could have got the voices out there, but obviously they're the same as the councils all around the country. They're all doing the same thing.
We'll send a message to central government. So I am very thankful for the leadership of the council.
Is there any other speakers that wish to speak on the amendment to the motion?
as the only
Councillor
reform,
Price.
I'm sorry, as the only reform council in the chamber, I'd like to applaud the Labour Council for coming up with this amendment, and I'm satisfied. Thank you.
So we do have one Reform councillor there, and it seems to be Labour that have actually come forward with this amendment. So let's see what they say about it.
Thank you, Councillor Price. Is there any other councillors that would like to speak on the amendment? Councillor Hall Evans, apologies.
That's fine, Your Worship, thank you. Just very quickly, I echo the words, and again I thank Councillor McGuinness for bringing this to the Chamber. I think we need to recognise that it is a productive amendment. I think we're all on agreement on that, but let's recognise that it's Councillor McGuinness initiating the meeting tonight and bringing us all together to make this happen. So truly thankful to him for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Everett, would you like to?
Thank you, Your Worship. So nobody on any side of the debate believes that hotels are an appropriate place for asylum seekers. I know that work is ongoing to close...
Illegal migrants, not asylum seekers. An asylum seeker will enter the country legally, show you their passport, and they're here because they're fleeing war. These are not them types of people. They are illegal migrants that have thrown their passports overboard, so you don't know who they are. And why would they do that? Maybe because they've committed a crime in their own country. That's why. So they need to get these facts forward. I know people aren't going to want to talk about it. I've said this in previous videos. But the fact still remains they are illegal migrants, economic migrants. They are here for one of two reasons. One, to work illegally. Two, to do things to, let's just say, women and children. Now, there's a big investigation into this and everything else all across the country at 50 different cities and towns. So they can't say that it doesn't exist and that there is an issue, because there is.
Close the hotels completely, and I hope we see the complete closure of all hotels in the United Kingdom very soon.
I hope we see mass deportations when reform gets in, because it's going to happen.
So I seconded this amendment today because I wanted to ensure that this debate is relevant. What is relevant is what Erewash Borough Council can do and achieve. This amendment refers to planning law and whether or not there has been a breach of planning law when the Best Western Hotel was turned over for use as an asylum hotel. This council, as all councils do, has a duty to assess and, if necessary, undertake planning enforcement when there is...
Yeah, but first you have a duty to your local residents. That should be foremost before anything else, because they're the ones that put your fat asses in them seats. Do not forget that.
An accusation of law breaking. Your Worship, I would like to take a moment to assure the people of Erewash that there is work being done to ensure the closure of the Best Western Hotel for use as an asylum hotel. The number of hotels is almost half what it was at its peak. Asylum costs...
Yeah, and where have you put those illegal immigrants? You're secretly opening them up as well, aren't you? Let's be honest. Don't lie.
are down.
They come out with these statistics and they're nothing but bullshit.
And
People
asylum
know.
decisions have been doubled.
We're not stupid.
Of those decisions, there has been a 30% increase in the removal of failed asylum seekers. We are making progress and we will assess the legal right.
A 30% increase in the removal of failed asylum seekers. They sent one home on a plane and received 100 in return from Calais on a little rubber dinghy. They can stop a Russian ship coming into the waters of Great Britain, but they can't stop a rubber fucking dinghy.
To use the Best Western Hotel as an asylum hotel. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Everett. Councillor Dawson to close? Or should I move to the vote? Fabulous. We'll move to the vote then. So all in favour of accepting the amendment as the substantive motion?
That's almost everybody.
Any against? Any abstentions? Fabulous. The amendment has now become the substantive motion. We now move back onto the debate. Do I have anyone wish to speak on this motion? Councillor Mills.
How many councillors have they bloody got?
Thank you, Your Worship. It doesn't matter how many litres of Tipex you've used on this amendment. The subtext of political showboating and scapegoating of asylum seekers remains.
Illegal immigrants, stop it.
We all know that motions like this fuel division and fear,
No, it does not. You are lying.
and this council should be countering the misinformation, not
It's not misinformation, it's fact. Are you bloody nuts? What is wrong with you? How has this woman got a seat as a councillor, for God's sake?
condoning the scapegoating of already vulnerable.
Scapegoating. It's not scapegoating, it's fact. The information is right there in black and white, right in front of you, all over the internet, all over the news, all over mainstream media, all over AI. How much more evidence do you actually want? You don't live in the real world.
Groups. This amendment doesn't address the real problem.
Yes, it does. Illegal immigration.
The Home Office backlog of over 100,000 asylum cases waiting to be processed.
Thanks to the Tories. So they're just trying to blame it on the backlog now. What? So that's got, like, anything to do with these men coming over on the boats? Predominantly men.
Or address the need for safe routes so that no...
Or safety of families, maybe. You know, safety of families with young children and things like safety of women and all this sort of shit as well. They don't like to talk about that, though, do they? They like to just sweep it under the carpet.
No man,
Typical
woman or child
council.
has to cross the channel in a small boat.
I've got to rewind that.
Woman or child has to cross the channel in a...
They're not women or children, though, are they? They're men. Men. Let me hear that again.
Is waiting to be processed. Or address the need for safe routes so that no man, woman or child...
There are no women or children. It's men, love. Men. Do you know what, mind you saying that, if she's a wokey or a lefty, they're not going to know the difference between a man and a woman, because apparently, you know, a bloke can have a fanny and a woman can have a cock. It's as simple as that, isn't it? So I don't expect them to even begin to understand what it is that's coming across the channel. They're men, love. I can guarantee you not one of them men on them boats will identify as anything else unless it means they can stay in this country. And you can admit, I've got a fucking good point there.
has to cross the channel in a small boat. Residents are still being sold a myth that the closure of
By Labour.
hotels and the apparent resulting disappearance of asylum seekers into thin air will solve all their problems, when in fact it will have no impact on the cost of living crisis.
It'll have no impact on the cost of living crisis. The government are £20 billion in debt, yet we can spend £8 million a day on illegal immigrants and send money abroad to other countries and everything else, and she goes and sits and says that bullshit. Wow.
No impact on impending benefit cuts.
That's right, okay. Now, I'm sorry, but this woman is talking complete and utter drivel. Absolute bullcrap.
And no impact on high energy costs.
No, because that will be to do with the Ukrainian war, won't it? Or would it have something to do with net zero and the amount that you're actually funding that for when we don't need it? What we actually need is to drill, baby, drill. That'd bring down the costs of fuel, wouldn't it? But they won't do that. They won't go and frack, will they? No, we've got to set on net zero. Thank you, Ed Miliband. Oh, he's Labour.
My discussions with residents who have taken the time and trouble to familiarise themselves with the facts of the asylum process.
Yeah, you haven't. You clearly have not made yourself go and read the actual paperwork. There's an email or 20 missing there, isn't there?
Would prefer solutions that are humane,
Sod your humanity. Did they think about it when they entered this country illegally? Did they think about that when one of them decided to go and rape a child? And you say that they should have any sort of human right when that child's now got to live with that with the rest of their lives? Sod off.
legal and cost effective, and enable us to build a cohesive, strong and prosperous community in Erewash.
You're telling me this council's got cohesive discourse? That they open dialogue? They basically are hoodwinking everybody. They're leading people up the primrose path right here, right now, right in front of everybody. Get over to Fox Audits and see what's happening outside as well. You can watch both feeds at the same time.
We're being told that it is simply a planning enforcement issue, and that's exactly how it's being presented. but we all know what drives it and what it encourages.
Labour wanting to replace every single white British male and female in this country. That's what's the driving force of it is. And the hate, calling everybody fascist, calling everybody Nazi, calling everybody racist, because they seem to think that that's now going to make us scared to actually talk about it. Wrong.
Whether meaningfully or not.
Brainwashed.
And sadly, that's racism, the weaponisation of women's safety, faux concern for community cohesion, and xenophobia.
So she's saying basically everything that I've just said is fake. This angers me, and I mean angers me. This woman should lose her job tomorrow. She should be sacked. Disgusting human being. Denying that. I bet she's one of these October the 7th deniers as well, isn't she? When's she next going to a Palestinian protest? Be very interesting to see if she's actually been, or going to one of these Tesla protests. Is she Green Party? Is she Labour? Who is she?
So let's talk about planning enforcement.
No, let's not.
There are over 100 outstanding enforcement issues in Erewash, and I guess I've been misleading my residents by advising that we report breaches of planning to the enforcement team, then wait patiently for them to be resolved. Obviously, I should encourage residents to go and shout at the offending structure and its occupants, and then call for next.
No one's encouraging them to go and shout at the offending occupants, but I'm glad you said offending. When they offend, then yes, they should be shouted at and they should be arrested and put in prison and the key should be thrown away. Simple as that. But first you've got to find out who they are, haven't you?
Extraordinary meeting because of the community unrest.
This is typical lefty rhetoric, trying to deny that all this has actually happened when all the evidence is out there. I don't know how anybody in that room can continue to listen to this tripe.
I don't think that's a sensible idea, but that's exactly what's happening here now.
No, it isn't.
The motion and its public pronouncement, the increase in misinformation about the men in the hotel.
Misinformation, so tell me one occasion when Keir Starmer's actually told the truth about something. One occasion, telling President Trump that we've got free speech in this country. There's one lie, isn't there? I can come up with a multitude more, but I want to watch this.
Because this isn't about the hotel, is it? It's about.
Yes, it is. That's why there's people outside stood there with flags up. I'm watching it on my phone right here over on Fox Audits. There's protesters outside. That's another one. They don't want you to know what's going on outside. If you're watching this, they don't want you to know what's going on outside. There's protesters that do not want this happening in their town.
About the residents. And quite frankly, their demonisation. Coupled, I'm sorry to say, by a lack of pushback and calling out to the divisive rhetoric.
I think I've just called you out, haven't I?
By both local and national leadership, has become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So I will be doing a little bit more research on this lady in the very near future, and we'll do a YouTube video on exactly what it is she's done for Erewash Borough Council.
They tell us there will be community unrest.
Come May elections, Erewash Borough Council, make sure you vote, and vote wisely. Don't vote with your feelings. Don't vote with your feelings, vote with your brain.
Voila, here we are. So if the motion passes, what has been achieved? Who have we helped? Will
everybody in Erewash.
People see an instant improvement in their living standards?
Yes.
Will the two-child benefit cap be lifted?
Yes.
The winter fuel allowance be reinstated?
Yes, and Superman will be reborn. Get on with it.
The pit review be stopped? Or the potholes filled? Will we all have to pay less tax? No.
She's just basically mentioned everything this is not to do with. Exactly like me saying we want this hotel shut so that we can have new new roofing tiles on our house and a bit of guttering fixed and that drain unblocked and my toilet unblocked, and she's full of shit, just like a blocked toilet. That's exactly what it is.
None of these, not one. In fact, it's the opposite. If this motion passes and the council loses the case for the injunction, it could be liable for the costs, resulting in a possible rise in council tax. It will also set a dangerous precedent. Whip up enough community unrest and tensions by fair means or foul, and you get your agenda pushed into the light.
So what about your agenda? Everybody knows what your agenda is, pushing this new ID thing that you're going to try and push on everybody to try and control your communist government.
Light.
Lefty alert.
And I really hope that councillors aren't being influenced by the intimidatory behaviour of some of those who support this motion.
Intimidatory. So you're going to try and call us far right? Are we all far right? Are we all fascist, racist, sexist people, are we? Because we worry about our families. Sit down, you silly cow.
And I just want to address one more thing.
Yeah, well, you've had your 5 minutes, is it?
Under international law, the 1951 Refugee Convention,
Which is why we want to leave the ECHR. Like Germany have, funnily enough. And Italy. I think Italy have as well. They've had no problem leaving the ECHR.
signed by the UK. Could you stop the clock for a moment, please, while I wait for quiet?
No, why should you? It's not a game of feckin' chess. Very authoritarian.
Seeking asylum is never illegal.
No, but entering the country illegally is. Staying at a hotel that you're not supposed to be staying in illegally is. Working illegally is.
Regardless
Point being
of the
what?
method of arrival.
So you're telling me if somebody comes into this country on a plane with a passport and says I'm seeking asylum because my life will be threatened in my country, that if you come that's as bad as coming over on a boat, throwing you overboard, throwing your passport overboard and then not realising who anybody is and they're all men? Bullshit.
Those with the luxury of choice arrive by scheduled flight or ferry. Would you choose a terrifying journey across the channel in a small boat if it wasn't your only option? But some people fleeing war, persecution, political imprisonment or execution
are coming to a country that is going to do exactly the same to them like it does with its own people. For Facebook posts, Twitter posts, things like that.
Torture or trafficking do not have that choice.
Smash
So
the
come to
gangs!
UK on a small boat. And once here, they are not simply...
Can't really call them small boats anymore, considering over the past 6 months they've doubled in size, and England send them back to France to be reused.
let in. They are immediately registered, identified and go through...
No, they are not. You are lying, dear. You are a complete and utter pathological liar.
a vigorous vetting.
I'm fed up with her.
A lot of complaints from all the residents who are so far against this. I've actually had 15 emails.
Now, if you want to go over to Fox Audits, there's quite a gathering outside of this council meeting at the moment. Go and take a look. Keep on my stream as well, but go and take a look.
Every single one of them are from people who speak in praise of the efforts.
Intentions within the community. A community that's seeing protest and counter-protest. A community that's seeing the majority of the floor that hotels is a matter of strong interest.
But just talking about the name calling, you know, the last sort of month and a half, mostly, and hopefully we can move forward together as a society. But again, Councillor Mills is entitled to her views on democracy, and the residents of Brixton will be entitled to their views in 2027 at the ballot box.
Councillor Mills of Erewash Council will be looking her up for a video tomorrow.
Thank you, Councillor McGuinness. I have Councillor Mee next.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm pleased to see the political aspects of the original motion have gone away. I do have concerns, though, because the motion asks for legal proceedings.
So just so everybody knows, over outside of Erewash Council at the moment, the police have just turned up because there's a protest outside that not many people know about.
To be considered. And it's nice to know that Epping Forest District Council have got the spare cash to pay for High Court, Appeal Court and potentially Supreme Court cases. Regardless of where we sit on, instead they're housed at the Best Western in conditions which are little better than an open prison.
Yeah, how much is it a night for one migrant for 4 meals a day, and then the free tickets, free clothes, free everything else that they get?
Prison. These are vulnerable people who...
No, they're not. They've come over on a boat. They're mostly men. There's no women, there's no children, there's no elderly.
Being scapegoated and hounded out.
Why do they lie so much? You liar. You absolute liar.
I currently cannot support the consideration of a costly injunction at this stage, though I do accept that the wording is only to consider it. Thank you.
Take note of these names.
Thank you, Councillor Mee. If there is no one else wishing to speak, Councillor Prince.
Thank you, Your
Councillor
Worship.
Prince.
First of all, I would like to just reply to a few of the comments. Firstly, Councillor Dawson, he mentions that it's our job as councillors to reduce local and community tensions, which of course is something I agree with, but it's also our job as councillors to address local tensions and address them head on, and that is what this motion does.
So all I've heard from Erewash Council at the moment is basically let's ignore our residents and do what we want to do because of our agenda. Let's not listen to a single one of our residents.
Councillor Mills, had I fled a country in fear of my life through...
Erewash, I want to say something to you. Get them flags up.
Greece, Italy, France, to the Channel, would I put my life on the line again then to go across the Channel to our country? No, I would not. I think it removed from asylum seekers at that point. Your Worship, the Best Western is as it currently stands, as a hotel in name only. None of us in this room can walk into that hotel. We cannot walk through the foyer to the front desk and book and pay for a room. And for that alone, it marks it.
Why is that? What is it because it's full of illegal immigrants? Mostly men. It doesn't matter. They're illegal. And they're staying in a hotel illegally at the taxpayer's expense.
It suggests at least a material change in the use of that hotel. And from a planning standpoint, that a change of use, it has to be approved. It has to be open to community debate and to councillor debate.
Exactly.
Approved or refused. And I would be saying that.
And all the left can turn around and say is that basically, or they come up with a load of lies to try and cover their own arse. Now, you voted these people in.
Regardless of the use, whether that was a nursing home, children's home, or accommodation for illegal migrants. I appreciate the comments that we do not know the outcome of the full hearing with Epping, but that is due to happen within a matter of days between the 15th and the 17th of the High Court, and I'm guaranteed that
we are against illegal immigration. Thank you. The number one thing on the doorstep we kept hearing with the people we were talking to was concern and worry. So for that alone, I can't ignore what I was told. Again, I reiterate the points that Councillor Major, most others have said, that this is not that we are against immigration, we are against illegal immigration.
Well said.
Thank you.
Immigration isn't such a big problem because they sort of know who these people are, because they've got passports, they've got a history. You can search the history, you can see whether they've been arrested and all this sort of thing. It's the illegal immigration that we worry about.
Councillor Burns.
I am a councillor of honesty. I do my utmost to serve the community of Cotmanay and the wider area of Ilkeston and Erewash. By this I mean all people in Erewash. This includes migrant families and asylum seekers in the area, and I will continue to do this whilst I'm a councillor and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was there any point?
Councillor Burns. If I have no other speakers, I will put this to the vote. I'd like to remind councillors we are voting on the amendment, as in the amendment is now the substantive, just so we're all clear. All in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? That has passed. Thank you, councillors. Have a good evening, members of the public. Thank you for coming.
So the amendment has been passed. I'm going to pop over to Fox Audits and see what's happening.
Need a UGC video
Let me
for
just
your
get past
business?
this.
Find me and many other skilled creators on Fiverr. Or you could...
And only 8 of those were patriots who were retaliating.
Say that at first.
No.
So I now know, because I live near the hotel.
Oh, okay.
And I've had enough of
Well,
it.
the Best Western?
Yeah.
Yeah, we documented that about 3 weeks ago.
So this is the channel that I was talking about, everybody. You can see my comments here at the bottom. I won't be playing his video because I don't want people to not look at his channel, but go over and take a look at Fox Audits. He was outside while this was all going on in the chamber. They wouldn't let them in with their cameras. There was plenty of spaces there that they could have used. So yeah, that's erewash, whatever you want to call it, Borough Council. This has been Straight Switch Photography. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Go and hit the notification bell, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye and good evening for now.
Street Switch Photography.
Erewash? What sort of bloody name is that?